The Pentagon's acting inspector general has announced an investigation into Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's use of the Signal messaging app to discuss military plans in Yemen. In a memo sent Thursday, the Pentagon watchdog wrote, quote, "The objective of this evaluation is to determine the extent to which the Secretary of Defense and other DoD personnel complied with DoD policies and procedures for the use of a commercial messaging application for official business." The acting inspector general went on to write, the probe will also review compliance with classification and records retention requirements. CBS News senior national security correspondent Charlie D'Agata joins us now from the Pentagon. Charlie, the probe is in response to a bipartisan request from the Senate Armed Services Committee sent last week. What more should we know?
Oh, good to see you, Lindsay. So the brief memo, one-page memo, states exactly that. They're conducting this in response to that letter received by the committee requesting an inquiry. So at the moment, it's narrowed in scope, as you mentioned. Did the defense secretary and members of the DoD break the House rules regarding things like using apps like Signal in the first place, and whether that information should be retained into official records? So Democratic Senator Jack Reed, who sits on that committee, he was among the first of those who requested the inquiry. He weighed in, releasing a scathing statement saying that the potentially deadly consequences from Secretary Hegseth's blunder, those are his words, they're chilling, and had the intelligence in that chat and those messages been obtained by the Houthis or anybody else, would have allowed them to reposition weapons to target pilots. And that's key to this inquiry. He goes further by saying that the information first reported by CBS News that Israelis provided intelligence used in an airstrike to target what they call a high-value terrorist target, that compromised an Israeli intelligence source, and they're furious about it as far as who provided the location of that target. And it says that would have damaged relationships with America's allies, and Reed called it reckless behavior. So Defense Secretary Hegseth said none of that information was classified. So the memo says the inquiry will focus here in D.C., obviously here at the Pentagon, at Central Command Headquarters down in Tampa, because Yemen's part of that CENTCOM area of responsibility. And the Office of the Secretary of Defense memo states they've got 5 days to put 2 points of contact forward to assist in the inquiry. So asked about it moments ago, the White House may want this to go away, but President Trump said on Air Force One, don't even bring up that story.
In your experience, how long do these investigations take?
Oh, they can take months. You know, the last big one that the IG held here was when Austin went to, then Defense Secretary Austin went to the hospital unannounced, went to Reed, and they dug into that. If you remember that, and there needed to be complete transparency for that, and then to suggest who may have been in charge during that period. That investigation took, oh my gosh, I want to say 3 or 4 months at least. This one might be sped up because, as I said, it's narrow in scope. Did they do wrong? And should that information have, first of all, was it classified? And secondly, should it be obtained as a permanent record?
All right, Charlie D'Agata, thank you.